Yeah, I had to lower that thing down a little bit. I mean, it was just too high. And especially the way I rigged up those mounts, it's crazy. But as I showed in the previous video, I can lift this thing up pretty much without having to lift it from the bottom because these magnets are really strong in here. And this thing weighs 5.5 pounds. I mean, with the 5,000 milliamp battery, the nickel metal hydride battery, it weighs 5.6 pounds. So this thing is no light thing. But yeah, as you saw, I had really lifted up before. I lowered it down about maybe an inch, almost an inch and a half. So it's not so egregious now. I mean, it's more to what it would be scale. And I changed the wheels. These are the wheels that I said that were coming in that were smaller. And these are actually buggy wheels. I didn't realize it, but they're staggered. The ones in the back are wider than the ones in the front, but it works out. I mean, the way the offsets are set up, these are wider going toward the center of the truck, so they don't stick out more like a normal staggered set would be. But I think that they're really good. They perform well on asphalt of course, and they also perform well in the grass. So those big monster truck tires that I had on here, really they were crawler tires. I liked them, but I glued them up and they just didn't stay glued. These come unglued also, but it's because of the low profile nature, I'm guessing. These stay a little bit more planted under speed. This truck is pretty fast. I mean, it's brushed, but with that 5,000 milliamp hour battery, it's pretty quick. And yeah, I got that scale tag on there, the SCA1E. That's the model of this body. I lost the wing mirror. I had to find it and glue it back on after that crash you saw. I also broke off the front bumper again. In the previous video you saw only had 2 screws, but I needed the 3rd screw because this thing will pop off. And so I screwed it back in with some better screws there, and they're flush mount, so that worked out good. And another thing I did was I removed the mud flaps. This thing had a lot of back and forth movement. I mean, you don't want it too rigid. In case of a crash, things tend to snap off and break, but with a little movement, it'll allow for, some cushioning of the blows, if you will. But what I did was, with these wheels, the truck sits a lot more sleek and flush. The wheels are not sticking out as much as they were before, but just so that I could maintain that balance, what I did was I cut off the mud flaps here, and then I just bent these. This is ABS plastic, and I bent the mud flap holder as, you know, rear bumper style, and then tucked it up under here so it kind of holds the body from moving forward. When I hit the brakes on this thing, I mean, it wants to slide forward, and then when I hit the gas, it wants to squat and go and slide backwards. And so with the height, you know, you get that rocking back and forth. But you know, it's a lot less body roll now, and you know, I figured I'm not gonna use this as a trail truck or anything like that because of the clearance issue. I'm gonna use it, you know, on road mostly for some speed, for some style, and then, you know, a little bit of off-roading. But the dilemma that I have is that this kit came in, the off-roading kit, which is from the company that makes this, Carisma. And this is the Carisma Adventure kit for the Scale Adventure. And it comes with, it's a front bumper, the fender flares, and a snorkel kit. So that's all in here in this package. And as you can see, this front bumper, it still has the sprayers for the headlights, the headlight washers, but it doesn't have the valance for the lower valance that the fog lamps will be housed in here, which means I would lose the fog lamps, and I don't want to do that. I mean, I like this front bumper. It's one piece, so you know, you can see I already bruised it up a little bit on that wall at the college. But anyway, my dilemma is, should I install the kit? Now, you may have seen it a little bit already, but I mocked it up here. And as you can see, the way these fender flares are set up, I mean, they're contoured to the body in certain areas. So there's a specific place that these go. But as you can see, I'll have to trim the body wider, which will allow for some bigger wheels and tires, which I may end up doing, you know, down the road, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's cut out for that bumper. It'll fit in there with this one. And this thing screws in. So all of these extra parts screw in on this body, which I really like. I didn't screw the mirrors in, which is why I lost one. And I saw a guy just now in the video, he had them on elastic. So when he goes on his trail adventures, they're like breakaway and they don't break away. You know what I mean? So, but I like the profile of this now and the way it sits. It's just that with these flares, it kind of looks like a Jeep Cherokee or like a, I don't know, like a Chevy Suburban or a Tahoe or something. It takes away from that Range Rover-y look. You know, I like the box of the Range Rover. You know, when I look at it from this angle, you know, you can tell distinctly it's a Range Rover. I was up on my roof driving the other night, checking out the light kit, and my neighbor, he said, "Is that a Range Rover?" It was pitch black out. And he's like, "Is that a Range Rover?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how did you know?" He's like, "It looks like one. Didn't you have a Range Rover?" Yeah, so, you know, it's unmistakable, you know, the look of the Range Rover, and they really haven't changed much over the years. This being a 1981 model, and even the current models, they're unmistakably Range Rover. But then when you go and put that kit on, I mean, now, I don't know. It's got Jeep vibes or something. So I don't know about that. I'm gonna hang on to the kit. The kit was about 20 bucks. So, you know, it's nothing to break the bank or anything like that. But I'm gonna have to sleep on that. I'm gonna take this out, bash it a little bit more, and see what else I can't break, and bring it back and see if maybe I wanna do a second one for my other Redcat Blackout SC. But for those of you who own the Redcat Blackout, the short course model, whether it's brushed or brushless, this is an option. You can get the wheelbase kit for this, or the specs for the dimensions of the body, and you can choose any other body that you want to put on this, whether you want to go monster truck style or you want to go SUV style or even a car body or something, make a monster car. But I'm really digging this, and so I'm gonna get it back out on the road, try to take it on some trails or whatever, you know, nothing too adventurous. But I'm gonna see how it performs. That light kit is performing really well, and overall I'm really happy with this. The paint job, it's coming out on camera much lighter than what it is in real life. I have my blinds closed over there so that the sun doesn't come in. I noticed on the previous video, sometimes, and with my phone, you know, sometimes the colors come out a little bit differently. It's a lot darker than what it looks like on film here, but I went with that green color. This was the look that I was going for, and I really, you know, I love a Range Rover, Land Rover Range Rover. They even sell the real metal decals for the words. This sticker, you know, is not doing too well, but I'm not gonna go and get that unless I do another one of these and decide to make this a shelf queen. Then I might do something like that. But got some aluminum foil in the wing mirrors. Yeah, they don't come with stickers for that or anything like that. So it's a really good truck. That Blackout SC, like I said, is really functional. And those parts that I broke off, easily replaceable. I found the video. It was, I think, an authorized Redcat dealer that had the Blackout SC was, you know, pitching it, I guess, for sale at his shop. And he was mentioning all of these things about the parts, how they're interchangeable front and rear and left and right. And I wish I had saw that video. I would have known right away to do that. That these things can be fixed up and you don't have to toss them or junk them or even waste money buying replacement parts like I've done before. Which is why I guess it was good, because I had spare parts for this. So that's the Redcat Racing Blackout SC short course, brushed edition. The brushless model is pretty much the same except for the motor and ESC. And I found that the ESC on these are capable to run LiPo, even though I'm not prepared to run LiPo at this point. Yeah, I just don't want to have that problem with all these issues with these electric bikes blowing up and causing fires. And I think there was something like 150 so far this year in my city alone. So, and people are out here dying from that. So I'm kind of wary of that. But back to the magnet situation. I got this. Small magnets. And the reason why I was looking this up is because I noticed that because I could pick this up, this heavy truck up, and the magnets they put, on road cars, those magnets will pop off with any bump or anything. And so I was like, I need stronger magnets. Maybe it's just the kit that I bought. And those kits, I'll show them in a second, but those kits come with these. And I'm not sure if these are magnets per se. They are magnetized, but I'm not sure if it's because they were touching the actual magnets. But these things are really thin. For comparison, if I take these magnets out, let's see. The small magnets comes in this little case, and I got my Allen wrench in there, or Allen key as we used to call them. These things are really strong. I mean, I cannot pull this apart, and it comes with some instructions. The way you separate them is you slide them off to the side like this, and then they'll separate. But these things are really strong. I mean, if you're having problems with your magnetic body kit, I'll put a link to the description with these, but I don't know what the measure is for magnets. But if you notice with these, okay, it's opposing, but if I flipped it around, so what I did was I had these glued. You may see some of the glue and some of the double-sided 3M tape on here. I had these affixed to the body. Man, let me get one of my cars. So for demonstration purposes, I have the Volkswagen here. This is the Redcat Blackout. No, this is the Redcat Lightning EPX drift car and chassis. And as you can see inside here, with this, I can pretty much lift this car up also with the magnets. But if I flip it around, you can see the magnets I just have in here with some tape, and you know, whatever, that tape is not gonna hold. I didn't want to glue them and then have to reposition because it will rip off the paint with them. So I have these taped in here, but what I did was I replaced these with these, and you can see the difference in the thickness. For instance, that one is so strong. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm gonna put these far away. So with these, and look at the thickness of these. It's almost twice the thickness. It is about twice the thickness. So that's really attracting this. So I figured, hey, why don't I change the magnets on the body of the car in here, these posts. And this was the set that I was talking about, one of them. With these posts magnets, why don't I just change these and then have these stronger ones attract those thinner ones? But the polarity is wrong. So these are countersunk and drilled in here, and so the screw will go right down in there. But if you have to mount them upside down for the right correct polarity, the screw will sit up and you won't really get that adhesion that you want. And so what I had to do was I could just tape some of these inside the body. And so that's what I did here. I just taped some and just left these on. I think the ones that come on these post mounts are these batteries, if not this type of battery, but it has this thickness. So if you put two of these together, they really hold. And so if I was to stick this body back on here, you can see that connects. And the other thing is the angle, because these magnets, they separate easier by sliding them. When you get any side to side movement in the car body, the G-force or crashes, they'll more easily come apart than if you were just going straight up and down. And so for instance, on this car in the rear here, my magnets are mounted at an angle on this glass. So to pulling straight up, see, it wants to easily come out because it's at that angle. But in the front, where they're pretty much, I gotta watch my muffler. Keep messing up my muffler. In the front, where you have to pull pretty much straight up and down, it doesn't want to move. If you have them, well, the tape that I have securing them in there, it's trying to come out. So it's peeling the magnet. It's peeling the tape. The strength of the magnets is peeling the other magnet off that has tape between it. So it's peeling the tape off, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So, and in my previous video, you might have saw in here, I had the little black thing. It looked like it was paint, but it actually was a piece of double-sided tape trying to get these corners in. I ended up crazy gluing them in so they stay flush like this. But yeah, you know, at a little arm's distance, you can't really tell too much how bad it is, especially when the lights are on. This thing is, you know, really great. But anyway, that was just a quick update on these body magnets. This set comes with 20. I think it was, I want to say $10. But anyway, I'll put a link in the description to the small magnets in case you bought those body post style magnets and you know you're having problems with the adherence or adhesion of the magnets. You can switch out those little discs. These, you can switch out these little discs that come with them that go in the body. It'll add a couple millimeters of height. So one of these magnets equals two of these, if I could get them separated. But anyway, they work really well. And so that was a quick update with the Redcat Blackout Short Course Land Rover Range Rover body with buggy wheels and tires. I'm really loving this thing. and I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna take my other vehicles out. I found a track here in New York City. Actually, there's a couple close by, but I found a track that I could go to, a dirt track, and run these things. So I'm gonna try to do that and then get them out into the mountains and stuff. But in the comments, let me know what you think. Should I go no flares or flare it up? Jeep Cherokee it up. Now, with the flares, it does, make it more legal to roll around with the tires sticking out this much, and then without the flares, but that's not too much, I don't think, especially with the lift that this thing has. So let me know what you think. Should I go flares or no flares? All right, well, I'm liking no flares, but I went over here and took a picture of my of the Range Rover inside my empty fish tank. I'm trying to figure out what to do with this thing. It's 55 gallons, so if you're into fish or anything like that, aquariums, terrariums, paludariums, vivariums, let me know what you think I should do with the 55-gallon tank over there. It's not running right now, but I have pretty much all the equipment I need to run it. But let me know how you liking the way this Range Rover is coming out. And oh yeah, I put in the rear view mirror. I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's got its rear view mirror. So this has been Big Brisk TV. Everybody stay well, and I'll catch you on the next one.